Coach, 2 weeks out from the season about, I guess, how do you feel about just where these guys' bodies are at, offensive linemen?
I feel good. You know, we've kind of had at the point where it's like been a full spring ball now. We've had 2 spring balls really, and I like where they're at. I mean, we got some ways to, we got some things we got to work on, but just understanding big picture, starting to find out who we are, it's really falling into place right now.
Has Tariq looked at left tackle?
Tariq's done well. Obviously, you got knighted this week. He's still got a lot of things to clean up. He's very athletic. He's guy's lost almost 70 pounds in a year, so he's working with a whole new body. And some of the default stuff that was there, he's just got to get comfortable moving a little differently than just the old routine.
You've had a few of your guys, knighted. So, what goes into that?
I think if you talk to our staff, it's guys that show up every day. They can't have one good day, and that's why there's still so few. It's got to be proven, and day after day after day. So, we'll nominate guys, and it might take 3 or 4 days until coach really sees a great practice out of them. Either a capstone practice or 3 or 4 days in a row where they've made a major impact.
How do you see the right tackle at this point with JJ and Zach?
The right tackle's really good. Both guys are playing well. The unique part about that is, Zach took most of the reps last week with the ones. This was the plan from the get-go. JJ's going this week. 2 reasons. One, I can compare who they're going against equally. And the other one is let them play next to, whether it's Chris or Applefield. The nice thing is they're guys that are talking and communicating, so they're hearing that same talk every play.
So is that one still pretty up?
That one's up for grabs, yep. That's one of the few that's still up.
With your guys going against this defensive line every day, and it's considered the strength of the defense, how good of a line do you think this can be?
Oh, here's the deal. I think they're solid, and I try and compare a lot of what we're doing right now back to, and it's just my background when Coach Ferentz took over. There wasn't a lot of sexy guys on the roster, but we had a bunch of nasty dudes, and that's what Chris is building right now. We're maximizing every minute of practice, and inside periods, both of the days we had inside, double them up. Guys are getting to the point that they expect that. They want that. The music changes when we go to inside, and it is physically, we're talking about building this thing from the line of scrimmage, and you got to do it. You can't just say it.
Coach, what's it mean to have 2 and possibly 3 if JJ becomes a starter, 50 of seniors on the offensive line? It's
huge, and I've been at this will be my 4th stop. 2 of the places had older kids coming back, and it helped up front in the transition. 2 of them had all young kids, and they play them. You play them early. We might have a couple guys that haven't played much. Tariq's never started at left tackle. You got guys that haven't played in certain positions, so you got both. It just brings some ease. They've been out there, they've been under the lights. I'm not nervous about, on game day, there's people in the stands, and they've handled it. So it's a comfort level.
What's the conditioning at this point, given the fast tempo of this offense?
I think it's pretty good. It's the thing we're getting into. The first week we didn't do a lot of move the ball stuff. We're doing more of that this week, and the guys, they remember more of it than I thought they would. But there's just some nuances and mechanics that go with the tempo, and we're picking up kind of where we left off in spring.
Does pushing them in the hot weather help that at all?
You know what? When you notice it when it's cooler and cloudy and there's a breeze, it seems they move a lot faster. But yeah, last week it goes back to the physical piece. We're gonna go outside, rain, shine, heat. We're gonna push, we're gonna bang, and we're gonna move people, and that's who we are.
What stands out to you so far about your freshmen that have come in?
Here's the deal: we brought in guys, and usually your quarterback and O-line group are some of your smartest guys. If you look at group GPA, we're middle of the pack here, and it's just rare. We brought in some very smart guys that weren't the most overly recruited guys. You go through their coaches, you get to know their families, you get to know the people they work for and their bosses in 3 weeks of recruiting. We've got very tough kids who are very smart and are very committed to Rutgers. It's been a passion for them for a long time. They aren't out chasing stars, and they're excited to be here. All of them except Housen have taken some reps with the 2s just to fill in. They're not a guy that's scared or nervous, so I'm excited about it.
Sorry, you talked about experience in the front line with the ones, but in the spring you talked about wanting to build depth from 2s up. How has that been going on for you?
It's been great. Guys that had good summers, like Zach Vineski, has quietly solidified himself as one of the probably top 4 guards. And I'm excited at where he's at. He's played center in the past, so he's having a good camp. Guys that are young, you're always nervous about telling them great job right away, because then they'll shut it down a little bit, feel good about it. But he's done a good job. You see some ups and downs, some good stuff from Shutek, who was a redshirt freshman. I'm telling you, so some of these true freshmen I like. If we get to a point where we might just prepare them and mentally get them right, best guys are going to go on the football field that get out there and give us the best chance.
Okay, what about Dorian Miller, left guard, what's he brought?
I tell you, Dorian's a guy, he's probably not the most vocal guy, kind of like Chris or even Derek, but Dorian has upped his game from, I'd say, an 8 out of 10 snaps. He was good to go, 2 of them. Technique might beat him. He's really become very consistent. I'm excited about his future. And you talk about having some old people back, having a guy that's going to be here another couple of years, because he is as you plan for the future, he's a leader here in the future.
Coach, how have these guys adjusted to the new scheme? Because it's a lot different from what they ran last year.
It is and it isn't. The positive part, they've had so many offensive coordinators. They've run so many offenses. So the guys that have been in the system, they understand when you start talking IDs and counts and leverage. And they're like, Coach, just how do you want us to do it? They've done it about every way. And now the fact that you tell them they're going to do 3 or 4 things, and there's going to be wrinkles to it, and that's it, and there's going to be over and over and every week, they're actually excited about it. There's not going to be a lot of new stuff every week.
2 more questions.
There's an old football adage, a lineman, you don't want to really hear their name that much, penalties and other stuff. Do
Right.
you want guys to have a quiet camp, so to speak, where you don't really hear too much out of them?
Anybody that ever knew me as a player would be like, he's lying if he said, no, I want a guy that's got some juice, got some personality, he's excited to take the field. But we're to the point now in camp, the last couple of days have been extremely physical, to the point of there's a push here and a shove there, and that's where you want to get them to. You got to get them to where they're mature enough not to throw a swing or push a guy late. We've had a couple of those, they've been good learning lessons, but we've got them to the level we want to push that now. And so, yeah, I want some personality. I don't want a dullard out there just say I do my job and go home.
You mentioned your personality as a player. It looks like it's carried over as a coach. You think that's how do you think that helps your guys?
Yeah, that's probably true. You got to be cautious. You can't just be a loud guy all the time, because then they tune you out. So you got to pick and choose your battles there, and make sure that for me, I'm a tone guy. You come out to practice, I'm a loud guy. Not a degrader or any of that stuff, but I'm going to be loud so we get a sense of urgency to fix it. And I told him last night, I said, we go to one-on-ones, I get upset because I'm embarrassed of our group. And that's the ownership that they all have to take when every guy's working together.
We'll take one more.
AJ, could you just talk about the nutrition aspect that Chris Ash and Kenny Parker brought to this with Allison?
Yeah.
Obviously, that matters a lot for the guys at your position.
It's been fun to watch, because even 15 years ago when I had training table and you're in the same routine in the Big Ten as a player, you'd go out, we had prime rib, you had fried chicken, you had all the good meals. Now it's such a science, and you see the sports science on TV, you see the nutrition. Our guys are just literally mobile bodybuilders is what they've become. They're lean,